You're on SABC News. Lectures are expected to resume under tight security at Wits University today. The senior executive team made a decision last night to continue with the academic program as from this morning. We cross live to our reporter who is at Wits University, Chriselda Lewis. Chriselda, a very good morning to you. We've seen Wits University issuing a media statement that the university has actually decided to continue with the academic program today. Tell us, what is the situation like currently?
Well, Parisa, as you can see here behind me at this point, there's quite a large police contingent at the university already. We understand that they arrived very early this morning. We've counted over 30 police vehicles at this point. The Hillbrow Tactical Response Unit is here. The Gauteng Traffic Police Saturation Unit has also been deployed here. Now the university is saying that it has no choice but to beef up security, and these police officers will be deployed in every single building and on every campus as a result of the scenes that we saw yesterday when students came onto the campus and basically forcefully removed all the lecturers and also closed all the dining halls at the university. What these students are saying is that they will not allow any of the lectures to continue at this university until they get free education. So the situation here really is expected to be quite volatile a bit earlier on this morning as the lecturers and the students report for lectures and for duty as well. But the university is saying it has no choice at this point but to beef up security because of those scenes that we saw yesterday. But what is certainly guaranteed at this point is that these students are saying that they're going to continue disrupting any activity on this campus and are saying that they are not going to allow any of these lectures to take place. They're saying that lecturers had been intimidated yesterday and threatened, and hence they needed to beef up the security here this morning.
But what is the majority of the students saying? We've seen them yesterday saying that they will not back off until their demands are met. Are they really ready to see the university shutting down?
Well, certainly, I think more importantly, Palisa, at this point is that Wits University would need to take a decision within the next couple of hours. They are saying that if the situation continues, if you continue to see these protesting students forcefully removing lecturers and some of these students from the lecture halls, they will have no choice but to shut down the university for the remainder of the year. Now, this might have a detrimental effect. This will essentially mean that about 75,000 first-year applications for the 2017 academic year will not be able to be processed. So the detrimental effects, if this university does shut down for the remainder of the year, is certainly going to be hard-hitting both on the lecturers and the students as well. They remain adamant that they will continue to disrupt the activities, if any, at this university here today. And Wits University says then it will need to make a decision within the next couple of hours, depending on what happens at this university, how it plans to move forward. You must recall that the university's council had really sat late into last night following the scenes that we saw in the afternoon where these lecturers were removed from their offices, forcefully removed. And essentially what these students are saying is that that kind of behavior will continue at the university. So how police are going to be able to deal with that situation certainly remains to be seen a little bit later on this morning. But I think most crucially, what we also need to refer to there, Palisa, is the poll that was conducted by the university. That poll had indicated that majority of the students want the university to open and for the academic program to continue. But a section of the students are saying that's not going to be allowed to happen. They're saying that poll that was conducted by Wits University was unfair and was basically a way to try and divide the students on this particular matter. But the threats of the continuation of violence and of disruption at this campus, these students say they'll certainly continue with this morning.
All right. Chriselda, we've also learned through the Wits University statement that should their decision not go right today, the students will have to vacate all the residences this morning.
Well, certainly that decision will be made, I guess, a bit later on, depending on what happens at this campus, Palisa. If the violence continues, if the intimidation and the threatening continues, and the forceful removal of these lecturers continues this morning, the university says then it will have no choice but then to shut down this university for the remainder of this year. That will mean then that all these students that are in residences would need to leave the premises. I guess that would be seen as a contingency or a safety measure on the part of the university because of the acts of violence that we have seen, the damage to infrastructure, I guess, that we've seen at other universities, and of course at this one as well. I think more importantly as well there, Palisa, is that you'd recall that students had been caucusing on every decision that they needed to take forward at Solomon Mahlangu House. So what this university is saying is that these gatherings will not be allowed to take place at this university. No gatherings will be allowed at Solomon Mahlangu House either. So how the students will accept that and where exactly they will meet to decide on what their way forward is certainly remains to be seen. But I think the quelling or the removal or the university not allowing any of these gatherings to take place on the premises of this institution is certainly something that the students will be unhappy about. But the university is adamant that that is nothing but a measure to ensure that the lectures do go ahead unhindered here this morning, and that those students who say they want to continue with the academic program are able to do so unhindered. But what really happens between now and a bit later on this morning is really, your guesses are basically as good as mine. But this here behind me is certainly an indication of the steps that the university has taken to ensure that there's absolutely no disruption here at Wits University.
All right, let's leave it at that. That's our reporter, Chriselda Lewis, live from the Wits University here in Johannesburg, talking to us about the situation. As you have seen, that there is large police contingent. We'll be crossing back to her later on the show. Well,